Okay, classic OBS. Doesn't know what my default mic is. Cool. All right, just take a little bite of my oatmeal and we get started. As you can see, I haven't gotten off the Pendragon document as my method of prep. I got 69 pages, which is pretty nice. Um, I will probably be converting to Notion at some point. It's just goddamn, dude. You want to converting anything to anything else is just a massive pain in the butt. So I haven't done it yet. So if I was going to get started, and if I wanted to run Pendragon on my own, I would definitely have started in Notion and used Notion's full power, or like OneNote and my Google Doc bullshit. Here we are. We have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover from last time. We are now in the anarchy period. And I mentioned that I'm going to be expanding on the rules. For example, we're changing how winter phase works. We're going back to more of like, rather than the book of the estate or like book of the manor super granular, we're actually going back and streamlining it, going back to maybe like what's in the Great Pendragon campaign, where your harvest resolution kind of determines your lifestyle. No, it's kind of weird. No, I know it's going to be kind of weird for us to see like all of this sort of improvements depending on this time doing it. But I really feel like that's the best way of doing this game. After playing this game now for how long as long as I have, I really don't think Book of the Manor adds that much in the way that it's presented. We want to customize our estates, we want to do that stuff, but I don't know the way it's done right now, where you like get all your money and it's super variabilistic and swingy. It's not the right idea. If I was going to start over, I would definitely not have done that, and I would have rather have done it the way that the Great Pendragon campaign presents it, where you still do the opposing harvest resolution. So this is different than the 5.2 basic book. So you still do your basic stewardship versus harvest misfortune, but that sort of matrix of success and fails, rather than give you a income, just determines your lifestyle. The thing that I'm changing is that I'm going to let people adjust their lifestyle, like up or down ranks based on actions or spending money. For example, if you miss your misfortune test, if your harvest test, right? If you make a miss, so that means that the harvest succeeds and you fail, and so you're not getting at least a normal. You can either pay the extra money to make up the difference, which I haven't determined yet. It's probably gonna be like four. I think each of them is about four, and either do that, or something we haven't seen yet though is you basically um rattle up, you shake down your peasantry. And I'd rather see people do that. You know, how badly do you need this money? If you want to keep your lifestyle, well then time to get a little cruel. I think I'm gonna leave the improvements that they have in here, but I ultimately want to keep improvements. I just need to abstract them some more. I like the idea of having tiers of improvements, but keeping them relatively generic, and then you just describe them in play. Like, in Age of Uther, if you spend $8 for like a tier 1 improvement. If it's an economic improvement, then that means you get like an additional, that's when you get like the additional D2 income. And you describe what that is. It could be like Garrett's Ferry, you know, on the toll road. It could be a logging thing, it could be fisheries. You describe what it is, like the extra benefit that you give yourself as an economic improvement. And that gives you the extra money you can spend for a year. Um, it could be a defensive improvement, which gives you a bonus when you're rated, right? So like it gives you a benefit there. It could be a cultural improvement, which gives you like a skill check or something that helps you in court. I think those are sort of like the big three spaces I see. Can you just describe what those tiers are? Like a tier 1 religious cultural thing would be like Irwin's Standing Stones. Or like a shrine. But I don't think we need to like get into the super nitty gritty of what each thing represents. Because let's be real. Who the hell is buying an orchard in the Age of Uther? You know what I mean? When you're making like this little bit of money. Yeah, exactly. A tier 3 defense would be a Mott and Bailey. Exactly. That's basically what I'm trying to get to. And the idea is that like that would probably cost like 24. But you're really not getting that unless you are absurdly wealthy and you've done something that's distinguishable. Like the ransom of a king or something like that, right? That's sort of where I'm going with this. That's where I want to go with my winter phase. I predict my players will be accumulating more and more manors. And since we're accumulating more and more manors, though, like I don't want to get so bogged down in my winter phase like this. All right. So, we got lots to do today. I'm also reworking how we're doing these manors. So like I have the classic ones here, but I sort of have a skeleton of what I want to do next, where it's like the calamities and notes. Then we get into the economics of like what's the starting income, misfortune modifiers, stewardship modifiers, and sort of the results of the misfortune stuff. And then any money they earn from the adventuring year, any money they earn from their manor, any expenses they incur. Sort of the idea right now. And then the total sum of all of this lifestyle income expenses goes into the next year's starting treasury. And so it's just a running total this way. I think this is the way to do it for me going forward. I'm gonna clean this up and but so like I have a lot to do and I'm gonna get torn in a bunch of different directions. I gotta clean up my NPCs and kill the rest of the NPCs who are dead. Um I think but the thing I think I want to start on, and I think that'd be the most useful for everybody here than watching me do a bunch of mise en place, is kind of prep the year and what is going to happen next year. And so I think I'm going to focus and start there. I'll work on what changes mechanically and stuff later. I want to get down what won't change regardless and go from there. Because already our game is sort of deviating from the Pendragon campaign and Anarchy. So like I need to take what will work and what won't. So I got to look at what the adventure is for this year. Kind of go from here. I also got to do survivalship. So let's do survivorship here. I don't know who's still alive of Thurl's court right now. Let's see survival rolls. Anybody get a 1 that I need to be aware of? Do I got a 1? Hired steward of Bjorthric. Oh shit. Okay. Oh man, I got so many extra people that need to get rolled. No, Wolfius doesn't count. That doesn't. I think it just re-rolled everybody when I extended that. It did re-roll everybody. That's the problem when you do just a simple function for random stuff. Anytime it wants to update, it just fucking does it. That's okay. It doesn't look like anyone else immediately dies. So that's important. The only person I was looking at was the steward. Steward guy. Dwy is what I was looking for. Dwy steward. This is Bjorthric is one of the knights that I think is under Gareth. Yeah, there's Bjorthric. Gareth owns his house. And he loves Dwy. So let's see what happens to Dwy. All right, no fear. Cool. We don't have to worry about that. The last things we need to do is the misfortune and conflicts. I forgot to ask them to roll last session. There was just so much going on, it slipped my mind. So I will just roll for the 2 players today. This will be Irwin's. Let's do Irwin first, because Irwin has the most glory. So I'll roll 2d6. The first one is the conflict, and the second one is the luck. 2 and a 1. Conflict in the anarchy period. A 2 is a bandit attack. So he's gonna get Irwin's getting bandits, and a 1 I believe is a calamity. It is. So he's got bandits and a calamity. You know, we're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna do anarchy. Alderton. I'm going to need to do a little more Mason Plus. Sorry. Only because it's annoying me. I need to go do select data validation, select from range. Data validation, select from range. I don't know a faster way of doing this. Something to consider this year would be given recent events. They like might be sending on taxes, which would reflect rate of free cash from mana prosperity. Well, yeah, kinda. I think that's going to be sort of the crux of 496. We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but who they give their money to and where they go for Easter is sort of going to be the first major question of this year. Really looks like they're gonna try to do some kind of weird Confederacy of the Born, where like they're gonna get all of the people and all the manors up and down the river to like work together. Which is probably extremely doomed, but we'll see. So I'll go back. I'll backdate everything when I need to. But we have a calamity this year. We have bandits this year. All right, let's go back and roll for Gareth. 5 and a 2. Pillaged. And a calamity. Oh, I didn't set up for this one. Well, here's what we're gonna do again. Watch this. I'm a genius. I'm just going to copy this over and then just change this back to when I'm born. Only this one is calamity and pillaged. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Let's go back to Chalderton. Let's determine the calamity when the bandits strike. So I'm gonna open my PDFs. And in Manorial Luck. Um, it's not. It's on a big screen of mine, so like it's gonna look weird. Moved it over. All right. We're gonna roll. I'm gonna put it. Okay. We have a D100 table. So this is the calamity. This is gonna be Irwin's D1. Sorry. Yeah, Irwin's D100 calamity. 39. Neighboring lord makes a claim to some of your land. Pass a justice event to save this or suffer a permanent -1 income. The outcome may also affect local relations. Well, that's pretty fucking perfect. Um, cool. When does this happen? In the fall. Okay. Irwin calamity in the fall. A neighboring lord makes a claim to some of your land. I will flesh this out later. It might be the blackberry. It might be Sir Frayed in the blackberry bushes that we saw earlier. So I'll make a note. No, wait, that was Gareth. It still might be Sir Frayed. Oh no. Okay. Let's go back and do what season is he rated? Spring. All right, so he's rated. I'm gonna say is it by his neighbor. We'll see. All right, let's do Garrett's. Gareth also fucked up as it has to roll in the D100 Calamity, and by him fucking up, I mean he has like a he has like a third chance of hitting this. It's not really his fault. 23. The land suffers heavy flooding. No construction may be started this year, plus 1d6 fate. Dams and field irrigations are destroyed. Oof. Also in the fall. So it seems like it's going to be a very rainy fall. I'm going to say the flood destroys this ferry. Plus 1d6 fate. Let me just pre-roll that already. Oops, that was a d5. 4. Right? Hey, Hans. Yeah, so Garrett's gonna have to deal with an additional 4 fate this year, so I'm gonna put that in his calculations. Calamity. I should just add the roll. And according to Pendragon, I believe it's a 3d6 when you roll it. Base starting weather, they just roll a d20. So he just uses a d20 in the Great Pendragon campaign. That's not right. That can't be right. Let me check my winter phase stuff for the later on. Economic circumstances. Wait, I have to go look in the like book of the estate or some shit. Book of the manor. Narrative economic system. Cool. Handholders are assumed. Yeah. Fate. 3d6 plus 5 to determine the severity. All right, there it is. This is not going to be a good year for our knights. The base year is 19. I'm going to do... I should just do it over here. Let's insert another table. Okay, so Calamity, this is for Cholderton. I don't have to worry about that. All right, so this is the problem. When I'm trying to do it for 2 different people, and I'm making the edits like I am to these pages, I'm just gonna duplicate it again. Not very smart. A very small brain. I don't normally prep this much for other role-playing games, but just when it comes to Pendragon, I feel like I need to. Just so much fun. I've been rewarded so much by doing this that I just need to keep going with it. All right, when I'm gun it gets that. Calamity is 5. All right, I just noticed what I need to add is notes. Like, I need to add what season. I don't know. Do I add the season and the effect into these? Is that helpful to me? So, like, if I had the calamity, then I add the calamity year and event, or season and event, and the conflict season and event, and then miscellaneous. Calamity season. Conflict season. Conflict notes. Data validation. Oh man, I don't have a seasons list. Stand by. Seasons. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Hmm. I think I want to do it this way. Data validation. All right, let's see here. Fuck, what am I doing? Yeah, Irwin's rated in the spring. That's what we've gotten. That's what we've determined so far. Spring. Conflict notes. I don't know. But I'll leave that there. I feel like maybe I don't need these, but we'll see as I continue to prep. We'll worry about this later. Oh man, I was covering that up. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't realize I was doing that. Okay. So we got the Calamity, we got the Fall. Let me add the notes for Irwin's thing. Land claim. Land dispute. Okay. We have done that part. Now we do. I need to do the same for Cholderton, which means again I have to delete. Okay, so like doing this in parallel and not fleshing out the rest of this, whatever. It's kind of dumb how redundant I'm doing all my work here, but so it goes. I will share my new model if it works out right. I'll post it around either on my Patreon for free for everybody. I just use my Patreon as a place to post everything and publish stuff and just make it public. It's just an easy place to do as a repository. And then also this way, if you wanted to support me, you can do it that way, right? So like I feel like that's the best way of doing it. Is just putting all the stuff that I'm doing rather than just like necessarily tweeting it out or like paywalling it and stuff. Just having that place as sort of like my blog / repository for all the work that I do for games that people can use. I feel like that's just the easiest way to do it. Anyways, where are we? We've done the Calamity and Dispute. This is Shoulderton, and then we had to do Gunnits. Gunnits is different. Calamities, his happens in the fall, but this is the Flood. He gets pillaged. Right? Is that what I said? Yeah, he gets pillaged. Did I say when he gets pillaged? 5 and a 2 was the fall, right? Or is it fall and I don't think I've rolled when he gets pillaged. Season for when Garrett's gonna get pillaged. 1. He's getting pillaged in the spring. Perfect. Wow, that's some pretty good parallel shit. Cool. So this immediately as a GM, like it's telling me that we're gonna open in conflict. Like the opening scenes of our game this go around is going to be our group handling raiding and bullshit and just getting the peace that they need. And that's where we're going to start. So we're going to start on like a smoky battlefield that is like around their manners of them being raided or pillaged. The second thing we're going to do is go into, okay, so like more of the political sphere, what's going on, where we should go to Easter. If at all. If right. So this is how I imagine the show is going to go structurally. Starting out. Now, we had to do some solo stuff. But like I'm just making a note. That's how I'm seeing this game for tomorrow's session. Anyways, let's go back and do solo events. Let's see what solo event we get for Irwin, because Irwin has more glory. So I roll a d20. I get a 7. I get a relations. He is chaste, or let's roll his love of his wife. Irwin. I roll for my players in this case. I know this is probably not a way to like some people may not like the way I do this here. But this is for determining the solo event. And I like knowing what this solo event's gonna look like, not in play. I don't want to play to find out what this event is. I want to use this as inspiration. So it's like if he checks his love of wife or something like that in this solo event, it doesn't count. He's not the one rolling it. Like I'm not gonna play his character for him. That's not what this is about. This is just to determine sort of the event that's gonna transpire. So yeah, he rolls the love of his wife. And he fucking fumbles. Amazing. Like, what am I supposed Okay. Yep. That was just a 5% chance, and that happens. So we're dealing with a tragedy. Rolling 51. Roll the d6. A 1. She be- she becomes a nun again. So here's the event. The event is um she thinks so he comes back to her, right? Like he basically dishonors himself. This is Erwin. Erwin leaves that battlefield. He needs to come back to her, and everything is wrong. Um hey Arbelin. Man. Hmm. See, that's pretty fucking rough. Because these notes, and I do this as a guide for play, this just tells me that this isn't necessarily going to happen to him, but this is what is on the table to happen. Yeah, exactly, right, Gunny. So here's what's happening instead, right? So instead, what's going to happen is that like his wife's absolutely not going to leave him. That just seems unfun, and that just seems punitive and arbitrary and terrible. But we can have a scene where he has to talk to his wife, and his wife is like super despondent, and we sort of have a scene where basically his wife fails the passion check, and he's got to like deal with her and tell her how much he loves her and that this isn't her fault. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that's what this is gonna look like. So Lady Grade's gonna blame herself for Erwin leaving the battlefield. She calls this um you could have stopped this. Why not leak the raiding calamity to Lady Grade? Holy shit. Um, that's pretty awesome. And then this could be her this sort of like tragedy thing about their love could be that she blames herself for being captured, and like she blames that this is her fault, and that okay, yeah, yeah, she like internalizes it that way. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. This is good stuff. That's good stuff. I like it. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. So this is where we're gonna begin with Erwin. So the opening scene then will be on Erwin's manor. And is it let's see here. I feel like this is a failure condition, not guaranteed. Thinking about it more, that's why I'm kind of quiet. I was just kind of logically playing this out, and that what we're gonna do is we're gonna do one of those raid skill challenges like I've done in the past. But if that's true, then we kind of lose this solo event of them being tested. But basically, the solo event is going to involve Erwin and his wife. That's sort of like what the dice have told me. The solo event for Erwin involves the drama between his relationship with his wife, and it's pretty tragic. That's sort of like how I should frame it. So the first part here is this raid. So let me just write out the raid, I guess. Erwin Brotherton is a flame. Um, Ringing of steel on shield, steel and steel, steel and shield. Rise of men and war. Brotherton is under assault. Um, by a knight with no colors. Okay, so what were my raid rules? I have them written down somewhere. Raid. So when you're raiding, there, see, it's like it's one knight, 3 men, and about 30 people. I don't actually have how it works down here. Bullshit. I wrote this down somewhere. Raid. Oh, it's a battle roll. It's a battle roll and sword. Okay, so this is how I normally did it. So, all right, so there we go. That's what we need to do. So it's a battle roll, sword. So, um, um, this is the time when siege So we haven't really done the skill yet, but I feel like this is the part where siege becomes a skill. Does siege come in as like half your battle? It seems weird for people to have a battle skill, but no siege skill. It just doesn't seem right to me. Um, Never asked them to test siege. So I think, yeah, it just seems weird. I don't think I need siege. I think battle will work just fine. I feel like battle is the skill. It's like your tactics roll. So I don't know. I keep going back on it. Siege would be like defensive, and battle would be battle. And it's unfair for people to not have a starting skill of sieging. Very, very preppy. Like, yeah, battle is fighting in a field. Siege is when you're fighting in a fort. So we're gonna do siege, and I guess I need to write siege rules real quick. Just real nonchalantly. Siege is a skill. I think it's listed in Great Pendragon campaign. New skill, siege. So basically, siege relies on the defensive value of forts to bolster it. This is a weird skill. Yeah, exactly, Gunny. So maybe I'm going back on that. No, siege needs to be its own skill in this game. It does. It really does. It does represent a different set of knowledge. But I don't like the idea that people start with 0. Um, hey Grant. Hey Raiders. Welcome everyone. I feel like siege needs to be like, where does it come in? Um, I mean, the base, what tells me it should be 10. Hey everybody, we're doing some Pendragon prep. We know how much opportunity. Yeah, there isn't a lot of opportunity to learn siege. However, there are places have been raided before, and we never use that. We use battle. So the idea of people using, so this is kind of on me, and I should have been using siege before in Age of Uther. So I guess this is another thing to be like, oh man, if I was a, if I could do it all over again, this is how I would use siege. I would use siege as part of the conflicts with the raids, but I haven't, and so this is the situation I'm in now. Um, I think I'm gonna give them a base skill of, if their battle skill, siege is a skill. Uh, Base is 5. If battle greater than 15, base of 10. So there you go. Speaking of rating, yeah, right. Okay, so we're gonna test siege. Um, Defensive value. What does the game say about defensive value? Permanent fortifications have defensive values. DV of 5. 5 represents the ditch. 3 represents a stone tower. However, when besieged, a castle's total DV value is used, so it's like 8. So standard Mon and Bailey is 8. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gunny. So this is why I'm giving Siege as sort of this base, right? I feel like people are this is why this is what I mean. So this is why like you get started at a 10 if you're greater than 15. I'm pretty sure both my players have a battle skill of at least that. So like Jim's battle is 16. So he comes at a 10. In fact, I think it's going to be his battle skill comes in at if it's greater than 15, then this is actually going to be, how do I want to do this? For every point of battle above 15, you get 1 additional starting point of siege. So, you know what? I'm not going to make a general rule here. I'm just going to say Irwin do siege. Irwin is at 11. It's basically, it's not skill minus 5. It's skill minus 15 plus 10 is really how I'm doing it. And Irwin, sorry, that's, yeah, Colin's character's battle is also 16. So they both come in at 11. That's easy enough to know. I'll just go ahead and do that for them. Sorry, y'all. Like, I'm not the most straightforward. I'm definitely not the most, like, clear, logical, process-driven person when it comes to this stuff. You're really seeing me work, like, on the fly right now. And you're watching my process of working through these things. So sorry it's not, like, extremely clear. We are literally making up rules for a game as we go. And we're making up the systems and support structures for documenting the rules as we go. We're really just fucking doing this live. So I appreciate y'all's patience. So we're doing siege. So here's something I need to write in here for manner calculations. I need to add their manner value. Conflict season, conflict notes. Conflict notes. Let's add like defensive value. But I don't think he has. He doesn't have a full thing. He doesn't have a standard Mott and Bailey. He has I believe he just has the Palisade and stuff, which I think is the 5. I'm just gonna say he has 5. Colin has the full 5-3. Oh, this is, I'm in Gun It. Shit. Never mind. He has the full Bailey, on Bailey. Shoulderton has defensive value 5. That means you add the defensive value to your siege. So let me make a general rule. No, I don't need to. This is kind of based in the book. So siege plus DV All right. So this is how I'm gonna do it from now on. Again, I'm just fucking making this up as we go. Siege. So when you are raided. So pillaging would be worse. When you're raided, you're raided by only like 30 people. If you're pillaged, you're attacked by multiple people, like 10 times the number. So when you're raided, here's what happens when you're raided. Am I spelling siege wrong? Jesus, I am. Okay. You roll siege, you roll valor. Actually, I'm gonna put a space between them. You roll siege plus defensive value, valor, and then you roll sword. Valorous. You make a table. Oh, are really watching me do this live. Successes. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have the fictional mechanical results, and we also have the misfortune modifier. I need to add another column. Um okay. So let's look at the siege shit. All right, so let me open the Adobe again. So you can see that there is sort of a matrix already for what happens when you siege. Um, they're the defender and they're the attacker. So basically, I'm going to amalgamate this into this. Then you have 0 successes. That means the attacker is a critical and the defender. Let's just say that's like a critical versus a fumble. Castle's taken with virtually no losses. The result. I mean, this would like never happen, but this would be like a 20. I mean, this actually mean we're harmed? I feel like you get harmed in this case. Let me look at solo events. Let me look at some injury rolls and see what happens if you take injuries. Hurt. Hurt. Table 7. Hurt. Yeah, you roll hurt. Okay, you're hurt. I like that. Yep. It's a major wound? Or is it just... Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. Roll in the hurt table. Let me just copy and paste that over. The hurt table. Let me see if I can just open up this thing. Where's my book of solos? Give me thine book of solos. There you go. I had to reopen it just so I don't lose. I don't want to. I didn't want to. Okay, so when you fight, it's valor, weapon, and horse. Um. So let's do this. Hold on, real quick. It's success equals insert special character. What the? A fumble is you roll a d6. A one. Jesus, I'm not gonna do this fumble. This fumble table is incredible and way too in depth. I'm not. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do the normal d4. I'll just copy this over. So on a 1, it's a common mistake. On 2, it's a failure. 3, it's a comical failure. And 4, it's painful. Success is a check. Crit is a glory. And a fumble is bad. So what happens on here? You take the injury table, the hurt table. I'm just going to copy the hurt table in here as a reference. Oh, God, I got to do it this way. Oh, God, they're all bolded. The formatting all got messed up. That's okay though. All right, you get one success. Go back to Adobe. Go back to the Great Pendragon campaign. You go back to looking at the sieges. So that's like the worst case scenario. Your manor is taken. On one success, that'd be the attacker succeeds, but you fail. Castle is not taken. Few losses to attacker. Wait, what? I think I'm reading this table wrong. I feel like the defender's role is here and the attacker's role is across. Because if the attacker crits and the defender fumbles, no. If the attacker fumbles, the castle's not taken. If the attacker succeeds and if the defender fails, the castle is not taken. If they fumble, it's taken. Jesus. This table makes no sense to me. So the only way an attacker wins a siege is if the attacker criticals, basically. It's like the only chance. You're just determining the losses here. Everybody. Your manor is taken with virtually no losses. As a result of it, you're hurt. You get hurt in the process. Okay. Success. You would gain one success. It makes no sense that a raid will take over your manor. That doesn't make any sense. You hold with terrible losses. Hurt. So you're gonna add 10. 10 plus 3 property destructions. Something like this. With significant losses. 10 plus 1 property destruction. You'll take this one. I think you'll just take damage. Your castle 10 plus 1 property destruction. It's not that you're hurt. I think you just take damage. And that would be equal to like a fight where you take 3 times, basically just take 3d6 HP damage. Yeah, you take 3d6 HP damage. Ignore armor. Two success. So we go to successes. Basically these things should be building up on each other and kind of stacking. You hold with minor losses. I think it's like this. I think this is what a raid should do. So if you fail everything in the raid, you basically will take. No, I'm writing misfortune as 10 plus property destruction. Let's go fucking read what a raid does. I don't know why you all watch me. Like, I don't know why you guys are like, this is the. Why are you just gonna watch me fumble like this? But that's fine. You get to watch me just flail around. Manorial conflict. So if you were raided, where's raiding? Raid. Enemies come into the land and take whatever they easily carried off. Light destruction occurs. When you're normally raided, you add 1d6 plus 1 to fate. Normally. Okay? So that's a normal raid. So this means it's you hold with this is like a you hold with minor losses to me is this should be the default result of raiding. You get 2 out of 3. You hold so it's d6 plus 1. This is 2d6 plus 1 take lowest. Okay. And this should be 2d6 take highest. There you go. Okay, so I just invented. Oh man, I got the Adobe thing set up again. So I just invented how to do a raid. This is what I'm going to use from now on. When you're pillaged, let's do what a pillaging is. Pillaging. The book says when you're pillaged, enemies come into land and stayed a while, took what wasn't hidden, including some livestock, killed or enslaved some people, and burning and property damage is done. When you're pillaged, where's just bandits? Bandits isn't even listed. Bandits is just bandits. A pillage is enemies come onto the land in Book of the Manor say anything? Nothing exclusive about. Okay, so there's nothing exactly exclusive when it comes to the conflict results for what a pillaging is. What did I write in my normal raid rules in the back? What did I write down here? A pillage is 10 knights, 30 people, 300 levies. So the idea here is that you can't really stop a pillage on your own. You're going to get wrecked by the pillage. It's just how badly does it go? To me, that screams siege. But that doesn't seem like valor to me. I feel like this is a different skill, you know? When you're rated, this is like, maybe it is valor. It's like determination. It's like your grit. I don't know. Let me see what skills I have. See what I can use. What kind of trait? Prudent. Versus reckless. Prudence would be. I'm testing like your steadfastness. Your ability So when you're pillaged, like 30 dudes show up, 30 knights and like a couple hundred soldiers like go through your stuff and basically take whatever they want. Um, you don't really have much. There's not really much you can do except hold up. Like you basically just hold up in your fucking manor. Um, maybe maybe you don't. Maybe you just maybe a raid is just your siege skill. And a success here is see plus 10 glory. Check to the skill. Normally you take 1d6 plus 6 fate. So if you crit, it's just going to be 2d6. I think it's just 6 fate. Add 6 fate to it. A success is 2d6, take lowest plus 6. And this will be property destruction. Well, yeah, each manor has 3 men-at-arms. That's about all you have. Wait, what the fuck? Why am I editing? Oh, god damn it. I'm editing the wrong table. Ah, killing me, Smalls. What? Why can't I? There you go. Okay. Clear this out. Misfortune. 6 fate. 1d6 plus 6 fate. Well, that's sort of where defensive value comes in. I think what you're all thinking, that's where defensive value really shines. So there's what happens to the misfortune. I need a symbol for like advantage, disadvantage, but that's fine. So here we go. Um, if you crit your pillage roll, this means if you crit, you get a check to the skill. You don't take any no lasting property damage. Harm. None. Success. You take 36 HP damage. Property damage, yes, you'll take pillaging is really bad. Yeah, I think you get one damaged property. One property. One, when you fail, you get 3. Harm. Hey, AP. I feel like this is really bad. I feel like this is really brutal. Um, if you succeed, you get 0. If you fail, you get 1. If you fumble, you get 3. So if a knight has a fortified manor, it helps whether he's present or not. If a manor has defensive value, then roll his siege skill with his stewards or his stewards with the following results. If you succeed, you take a critical success. You reduce the property destruction and conflicts by the rolls by the value of the damage value. Or defensive value. Failure, no modifier, damage is rolled. If you fumble, damage is rolled, lose defensive value. Okay. So basically, the way they have it written here is that you still roll property destruction, but you've reduced what you could roll on property destruction by being present. That's sort of how they're doing it. So the idea here is that if you can reduce it to, so you roll a d20, but then you subtract, if you're present, you roll a d6. Then you also subtract a 5 if you have a, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, so property destruction. If caused by a conflict, the knight succeeds, so and they're present, so that means you get an additional d6 off of the property destruction roll. So for example, if Irwin gets attacked, you roll a d20, you get a 3. And my manners fences already reduced that down to negative, so I'm not going to take any damage. But I have to roll 2 more times. So let's roll 2 more 2d20s. So let's say I fumbled my siege, I get attacked 3 times. I get an 11 and a 2. I don't have to worry about the 2 because that gets reduced, but the 11 gets reduced down to a 6. And then I have to roll a d6. 1. It goes down to a 5. A 1 to 5 is no permanent damage. So that's how that works. Okay. I'm going to do a d6 property damage for a fumble. Okay. Cool. So now I have raided. So I have a raid, and what happens when you raid? Oh shit, I removed the wrong stuff here. A raid is that valor and sword. Pillaging is just a siege. And plundered is enemy came onto the land and stayed a long time. Plundered is really bad. Just don't get a, hope they don't roll plundered. That's gonna be my goal here. All right, y'all have been hanging out for like an hour, maybe even longer, like 90 minutes, and we're still not even close to starting the game or what we're gonna do for the session. We've just only got through writing up a conflict and writing up the calamities. So we still have ways to go. So we go to opening scene. Children is a flame. Ringing of steel on steel. Let's do sounds. Ringing of steel on steel. The cries of men at war. Turns on by night with no colors. Now we add the additional thing here. So the additional the additional impact. If Erwin gets 1 or 0 successes on this raid, Lady Great is held prisoner. Um, we haven't even rolled for Gareth and seeing what Gareth's solo event is yet. Which is why I should write down what they are in this thing. Alderton. All right, so Cholderton. So after the raid, if Lady Great is kept from being prisoner, um, this is my fault. Um, this is just God punishing us. Basically, she's like, you need to let me go before I endanger you. This is all my fault. She's just very upset about this. Not necessarily just the raid, but this whole past year. Okay. The opening scene is a Children raid. I should put that here. Okay. Opening scene, Children raid. Cool. Let's just keep it moving. Let's do Garrett's solo event. Gareth. D20. 8. Relations. He is wed, so we roll as chaste and see what happens. He succeeds, which means it's a joy. He doesn't have a love of his wife thing. Pretty sure. No, he does not have a love of his wife. He does have a love of family. I'll let his love of family. I'll ask. I want a situation. Let's see what we roll. 45. 45 is joy. If you don't gain it, roll love of wife. If you don't already have it, you gain it. I don't know about that. Bliss. Hair gets a good fortune. 3 family rolls. Good fortune is table 34. You get like a 20, which would be gift of 5 free servants. So basically, he would get additional servants, which doesn't really help him. You can't relate to people who are under siege. Yeah, I know, right? It's hard. It's difficult to imagine what a stay-at-home order would look like. Okay. I don't know why I need opening scene. I can just do it this way. Newborn Gunna is attacked by a party of about a dozen knights and a few hundred men afoot. With no banners. With black banners. The funny thing is that both these people have relationship effects after being raided. Which is, I don't know, I love it. We're just gonna keep it here. We're gonna do Gareth solo. And this is kind of like Irwin solo. Actually, I'm gonna do this other way. I'm gonna do the solo first for Gareth and then have him pillage. I feel like that's the better way of doing it. So he passes and the relationship between him and his wife grows. Looking at it was hard because he doesn't have a joy. I don't, he has a love. He gains a love of his wife. Um, I don't know. 2D at like 3d6. Let's see. Let's say it's 2d6. Gain a love of land, passion to 2d6. Um, in these dangerous times, you and Elaine have grown inseparable. Um, as you appraise the political situation. Um, whatever happens, you have each other's backs. Ain't a love, passion. Um, then I'll ask, yeah, I kind of will flesh this out a little bit and play, but that basically ask what is the plan. This is how I write my notes. I literally go like I write a thing like if I'm playing fucking Crusader Kings where I write the little like text of what happens, and then I will follow up being like, so what's the plan? What is it that you and Elaine concocted together going forward? What are the goals? And I'll give this plan to Colin ahead of time. Like I'll ask them what the plan is beforehand, so I don't feel like I'm just throwing them to the wolves here to come up with some grand strategy in a minute. Um, cool. And then as soon as they tell us the plan and their high ambitions, and I say, cool. And that's when you hear the horns as a dozen knights and a few hundred men afoot with black banners um, come across your lands. Attacking them would be suicide, so you bunker in. So you bunker in your new castle, new fortress. You're pillaged. Okay. Now we have to worry about Easter. Now, what does the book have to say about Easter this year? Great Pendragon campaign, 496. Their job is to be a trusted knights and veterans, but the game master has decided how much authority they hold. Political wrangling is one possible game theme. Yep. Game master needs to decide how far up the command chain player knights are. You're not very far at all. Grudge score. Game master may allow a player's decision to sway the contest, essentially giving foreign policy over them. They have great power, but also responsibility. Or getting a negative modifier, blah, blah, blah. Decisions must have consequences. Game masters should keep a grudge score to track how the various Saxon kingdoms feel towards Salisbury court. When this grudge reaches a certain stage, they raid the county to teach them a lesson. Each raid relaxes, but does not entirely erase the grudge of that Saxon kingdom. Oh, perfect. Yeah. These raids kind of help teach us this. Okay, cool. I will have a grudge score for all 4 kingdoms. Or when I say kingdoms, I mean factions. So I need to introduce this part. In fact, I probably need to put this just in the notes for the year. So I'll do something like this. Grudge. The grudge clock. Syagrius and the Astralages. Um, King Yosa. King Yosa. Saxons. Maybe I don't put king into it. Syagrius and the Astralages. Yosa and the Saxons. Oh, these are the Nahut Saxons. Nahut Saxons. You have Ea and the Sussex Saxons. I feel like I don't need them. So we have Syagrius and the Astralages. We have Ea and the Sussex Saxons. We have Straterius and the Silchester Knights. And then we have I think we have to deal with the rest of the knights. Like the rest of Silchester. I haven't broken out Silchester stuff. I mean, what the hell's going on in Wales at this point? Maybe it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, we need Ulfius. I don't know. Ulfius and I don't know, and Knights of Logris? I don't know what to call it. That seems. But these are all the different factions, basically. We have Syagrius and the Astralages. But this isn't and the knights loyal to them. Ea and the Sussex Saxons and everyone loyal to them. Straterius and the Silchester Knights and everyone loyal to them. Ulfius and the Knights of Logis and everyone loyal to them. Brastius. No, I guess it's Brastius is what I meant to say, not Ulfius. Sorry, I have this open. Brastius and the Knights of Logris. Everyone loyal to them. Oh man, I haven't even spoken about tribute and how tribute's gonna work in the winter. Alright, well just hang on y'all. I'll be right back. I need to take a break for a second. All right, let's go back. Let's do it. Okay, so we have Siagris and the Astragalus knights and those loyal to him. Aya and the Sussex Saxons and those loyal to them. Statirius and the Silchester knights and those loyal to him. Brastius and the knights of Logris. Really, this is Ulfius. Really, what I'm going to need to do is create lieutenants for everybody here. Kind of what I need to do. So basically, the way I'm seeing it is that everybody pays $1 in tribute to one of these people. And for every one you don't pay, the grudge clock goes up. And the grudge clock goes up. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I think it's just going to be out of 6. It's just going to be out of 6. And every year, I'm going to roll a d6. And if this thing ever fills up, well, that's when you know what's going to happen. They're mad. And every time you don't pay them in a year, this clock so if you pay them, ooh, I don't know. If you pay them, there's still a chance they'll raid you anyways. But if you don't pay them, there's definitely a chance that they'll raid you. But again, I can't do this based on like a house by house basis. They're just gonna raid the land. No, they're not really like going targeting your house, kind of like weather and misfortune. It's sort of everybody. Um might want to read an actual play of somebody doing this and figuring out how they use their grudge scores. Let's see here. What is King Kerdick? Let's see. Ellen holds court in Sarum. So I guess do you show up to Sarum for court? And let's see. That would mean Statirius is here. But if he's there, that means you basically have to swear fealty to him. So no, I don't think. I think we have the battle. I think we have a battle. I think what it is that I think he will announce that he's coming, and I think people will be like, "The fuck you're coming here, dude." And that's when they fight. And like they have a first fight being like, you're not going to Sarum. Does that make does that hmm does that mean not sure. It's just tough. They have what's his name in Vagon Castle. Elad. Elad's in Vagon. Yeah, he's retired. Lycus is retired. It's Sir Elad. Sir Elad. Who does Sir Elad suggest rules? He's kind of his own faction. You have Statirius and the Silchester Knights. What are the other castles? It's in like Book of the Warlord. Sarum, Duplain, Vagon, Hill Farm, and Woodhouse. The fuck? There's Vagon. Vagon for sure. Sarum, Vagon, Vagon. I have no idea how you say it. Where's Hill Farm? Why are they making up stuff? Ebel? So I need to come up with knights that run these things. So the funny thing is that I have knights that I could use. So all these knights turn into the big boys. Huel, Emig, and Jaren. Well, so Jaren is the best swordsman. So surviving lords of note. Here we go. Ulfius, Duke of the Vale. We know about Ulfius. Cadwy, the ancient king of the Summerlands, does not accompany. We don't care about him. Sebrastius tells himself as a mercenary. Merlin Corneus dies in 508. What the hell are these things? None of this is in the book. None of this is, man. Okay, I'm just gonna have to make some stuff up because this thing that I'm using, I don't know what year this is supposed to be in for Salisbury, but this needs to get adjusted. Okay. So we know that Elat the Marshal rules Vagon. We know we need someone who runs the Devise castle up north. So let's start writing these down. We need Vagon, Devise, Duplain, Ebel, and Sarum. What was the other two? Devises. 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 D-E-V-I-Z. D-E-V-I-Z. Duplain and Ebel. Lady Jenna, I should say. Devise is in the northeast. I should write this stuff down. Southwest. Sorry, northwest. Plains, southwest, southeast. Is what, south? Yeah, Ebel is south. Ebel is south. Okay. Ebel, Duplain, nothing. Devise, Vagon. Okay. I mean, technically, the closest thing to a power of manners on this side is Gunnet. So Vagon, Sarum. I don't have a knight for Devise. So I think I'm going to grab one of these old knights. Sir Huel, who was in West Lavington. The fuck is West Lavington? West Lavington. If West Lavington's up here, Market Lavington, West Lavington. Perfect. Devise. So here we go. Huel lives in Devise. There we go. Easy. Sir Huel. Who lives in Duplan? Duplan would be down here. Duplan or Amig. It also says Till's Head. Till's Head nearby? Till's Head is not nearby. Is Till's Head somewhere else? Till's Head. Where would be Till's Head? Till's Head, Till's Head, Till's Head. It's impossible to see anything on this map. Till's Head. I don't know. So, yep, Duplan. So that's what we're doing. It's our Amig. Ebol. I like the idea that this random dude, Jaren's got it. Okay, so we have the 5. Well, we technically have the 4. Things. So why isn't Sarm ruled by Sir Elad? Like, why doesn't Sir Elad come in there and take it and be like, suck my dick, Statirius, you know? You're not taking this castle. And if that's the case, why wouldn't Sir Jaren and Sir Armig also align? I don't know. Well, it's kind of disappointing, but I'm going to leave this on a cliffhanger. I don't know what to do next, and right now I'm feeling a little burnt out. I've been doing this for like almost 2.5 hours, and my brain is starting to turn to mush. All right, so I think I'm gonna call it here, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I'll continue to work on this tomorrow and stuff, and otherwise I'll see you all tomorrow for the game. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I'll see you around.